Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I really need to tell you this story. If there was ever a time that I felt like a fake, a fraud, imposter syndrome, it was when I went from undergrad to graduate school. Now, I had worked really, really hard in undergrad, and I was amazed that I could even get to college. And I graduated with honors. I won the President's Cup for Leadership. Linus Pauling handed it to me. And so my professors had said, you should go to graduate school. And I was thinking, they got more? They got more of this? It's like, yes. I told my family I was going to graduate school. They said, we thought you already graduated. Anyway, I get to graduate school for my master's at Kent State. And the very first day, the professor went to the board and said, as you know, and started writing and talking. And I thought I had missed some days. I was rifling through my notes and looking at my syllabus and trying to figure out if I had come a week late or what I had done, and was I in the right class. I was like, no word was recognizable, no theory, no idea, and it was a theoretical course, and it, Parsons Liga, and I was like, what Liga? What is that? What? And everybody in the class, I was the youngest person there, and everybody else in the class was like this. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they would take some notes, and I was writing like every word the man said, everything he wrote, and I was like, oh God. And everybody's like, mm-hmm. And they would write some things down here and there. They were just nodding and looking at each other. And they'd laugh appropriately. And I was like, oh my God, this, I shouldn't be here. They picked the wrong person. Then I found out there was somebody named Bernita Berry, and they accepted us both thinking we were the same person. And I thought, oh, they made the mistake. I'm not the one that should be here. Oh my God. And I would just take notes. And then I decided I was going to go to the library and I was going to read not only my textbooks, but I was going to read everybody who we were talking about, all of their works, everything leading up to that, anything around that, because I was such an idiot and I knew nothing. And I was a fake and imposter syndrome. I was the imposter. I shouldn't have been in this room. And then I started learning enough to be able to ask questions. And most of the times, the professor would say, any questions? Because he was just going. And any questions? And I was, no. And everybody's like, no, very good. Let's continue, please. And so, you're at the level where you're being lectured to and you're learning. And it wasn't like round table discussion. It was just lecture. And so I would read everything I could find. I lived in the library trying to find anything I could find on these things and break down at the lowest level to learn. And then I was able to ask questions, and I would ask all kinds of questions. And is this and when they were, and then I'd bring in other theorists that I read about. Well, these two didn't get along, and is that because da 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 da? And the professor would, well, yes, and it would stop and put the chalk down and have these longer answers, and I'm writing everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. Things started to click, and I said, oh, okay. The week before the exam, maybe 2 weeks, everybody in that class that had been nodding was like, can we study with you? I was like, why you want to study with me? I don't know anything. I was going to professors' hours, their office hours, because professors always have office hours. And it's like, like a ghost town. Nobody goes in there. Nobody took advantage of them but me. I'd be sitting in all of my professors' offices, waiting at the door for office hours to ask questions, to learn more, to dive deeper. Everybody else, and I'm like, I think they made a mistake. I'm not supposed to be here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know nothing. Then I started to understand and comprehend. So all these people are like, can we study with you? I'm like, why would you want to study with me? I don't know anything. I know nothing. I'm learning everything as we go. I've gone to the library. I've gotten the old books, the newer books, anything around this subject. I'm reading everything I can find. I go to all the office hours. I sit and I ask questions in there, and I'm writing everything. I got 62 notebooks of all the notes that I'm gathering. I don't know nothing. And they were like, oh, yeah, you know. And so I asked one of my friends, I was like, well, y'all are nodding like you already know. And they're like, girl, we don't know what he's talking about. And I remember getting the papers back, the grades back, and, like I'd get an A, and everybody else, it was questionable. They didn't want to discuss it. And so I discussed it with one of my professors, Dr. Seitz, and I was like, well, I really feel like a fake. And he was like, are you kidding me? You're the only real student I have. And I was like, don't say that. And he was like, well, no, they're acting like they know. And you're being very honest and saying you don't know. And he said, most often, the people who feel like the imposter is the one who's the real deal because they had to work and push and claw and do all the extra reading just to be there. And once you're there, it shows. The next time you feel like an imposter, remind yourself you are the real deal. I love you.